Here in Devon, in the tranquil Tamar Valley, is a port that once bustled with industry. Overground, farmers supplied Britain's growing towns and cities with fresh produce.
Daffodils set for London.
While underground, miners extracted copper and precious minerals.
Firing!
Archaeologists Alex Langland and Peter Ginn and historian Ruth Goodman are living the lives of Edwardian farmers for a full calendar year.
Look at that one there. It's so sweet.
They're getting to grips with the rural industries that once brought wealth to Devon.
Oh wow! We got something!
It's a good one.
Last month, the team ventured into the county's famous dairy trade.
Oh, that is different, isn't it?
Well, we like it.
Planted new crops in their arable field and cashed in on the valley's booming tourist industry. Now it's June, a time when farmers in the valley traditionally took their sheep onto Dartmoor for summer grazing.
Here! Come, come!
Here the team will explore an ancient landscape.
I have to say, on a day like today, this is one of the best jobs I've come across.
Learn how to profit from Devon's once booming wool industry.
I'm just finding this really nerve-wracking, actually.
And old friends arrive on holiday.
Oh, my goodness, you know how to arrive in style.
In the Tamar Valley, the arrival of summer brought new challenges for Edwardian farmers. June was the month when they could profit from one of Devon's traditional agricultural industries, wool. But this was also the time when farmers had to make use of any dry weather to harvest winter feed for their livestock.
Traditionally, hay would have been made with all of this lovely succulent grass. But we're going to try for something different this year. Something new and radical in the Edwardian age.
With the increasing use of science in Edwardian agriculture, the government of the day advised farmers to make silage, a method of starving the freshly cut grass of oxygen. This way, the green and succulent grass is preserved while still retaining vital nutrients.
Now, we always associate silage with very, very modern farming, polythene-wrapped bales in the field and polythene clamping the silage in the farmyard. But in fact, actually, it says here, this was first widely adopted in the year 1888. So the Board of Agriculture and Fisheries are actively promoting silage during the Edwardian period simply because it has got such good nutritional value and succulence for your herd and your sheep throughout the winter months.
To make silage, the team must gather in all the cut grass before it begins to dry in the field.
Never thought I'd find myself in a field in June trying to stop grass drying out.
Yeah. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. See, it's nice and green. It's that smell of freshly cut, freshly mown lawns.
Well, it's that smell of fermentation, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what we're looking for.
To preserve the fresh grass, Alex and Peter will need to build an airtight container known as a clamp.
The whole idea of the clamp is essentially to prevent the oxygen from getting to this organic material, because if it's just left out in the open, this material would actually start to rot down. And what these straw mats will do is they'll just stop the soil that we lay on top to ultimately seal the clamp from getting into the grass, because if it does that, it creates the kind of conditions that Listeria bacteria will thrive in. But that's it. That is the roof on. Are you happy with that?
I'm happy with that. That's the easy bit.
That's the easy bit, yeah. Shifting the earth is going to be the hard bit. Yeah.
To prevent oxygen getting to the grass, Alex and Peter now have to seal the clamp with earth. Unopened, the silage should remain edible for several years.
Well, there we go. Earth on, oxygen out, silage made.
Yeah, and it should keep the sheep and the cattle here fed throughout the winter, so yeah, pleased to get this one out of the way.
On the Edwardian farm, the team are reaping the benefits of the Tamar Valley's mild climate. Their oat and potato crops are thriving, looking set for a bumper harvest later in the summer.
Super, super crop.
But the warm weather isn't so welcome for the farm's flock of ewes.
Now the sun's come out, the flies have come out.
Yeah. Sheep suffer particularly from something called blowfly. They get in amongst the back end of those sheep. The larvae can actually start eating into the flesh of the sheep. It not only destroys the fleece, but of course the animal itself is severely traumatised, stops eating.
Well, it can kill the sheep.
In the worst case scenario, it can kill them.
To try and escape the flies in the warm and humid valley, Alex and Peter have taken their sheep onto the highest grounds of the farm. But with a huge expanse of open moorland nearby, Edwardian farmers traditionally drove their flocks onto Dartmoor.
It's fascinating, isn't it, though, the whole situation with the seasonal summer grazing of Dartmoor. It'd be a fantastic thing to go and explore, wouldn't it?
Rising up to over 2,000 feet above sea level and covering 368 square miles, the vast barren moorlands are a stark contrast to Devon's green and verdant valleys.
Dartmoor is a wilderness. I mean, you've got granite tors sticking out of mossy, peaty bogs, and the farming that goes on there has been sculpted by the landscape itself.
Dartmoor was once a mighty forest. Over the past 5,000 years, farmers have worked the land to create pastures for livestock.
Dartmoor, for me, is a fantastic, romantic landscape. To really engage with the farming of Dartmoor as it would have been 100 years ago, it's just going to be unique.
Would you mind keeping the farm ticking over?
Yeah, of course.
The annual pilgrimage of sheep farmers to the moor meant that women were often left to look after the farms.
Right, here we go.
Now, Ruth, whilst there's no signs of blight on the potatoes yet, a preemptive spray is in order.
You've not used this before, have you?
No, but, you know.
For farms to prosper, traditionally male or female tasks were often interchangeable.
If it hadn't happened all the time, can you imagine what would have occurred for World War I? Britain would have fallen apart. It was only because actually women had been doing bits and bobs quietly of pretty much everything, albeit in odd situations, that there was a skill base there, so that when the men gone, life can go on.
For Alex and Peter's Dartmoor expedition, Ruth's rustling up some supplies, including biscuits and a popular drink of the time, mahogany.
We need the zest and the juice of 1 lemon, and as much rum and brandy as you can force in a bottle, and a good dollop of sugar to sweeten it. So when you're, up on the moors, you can take some of the mahogany, put it into a cup and top it up with boiling water, and you've got yourself a really good sort of hot toddy thing. Come. Oh, delicious.
Well, there you go then. Don't
Feast.
starve.
OK.
I'll see you in a couple of days.
Yes.
Good luck,
Have
Ruth.
fun. See ya.
See ya.
See you then.
Ruth will join Alex and Peter on the moor in a few days' time.
So you're looking forward to getting up on the moor then, Peter?
I love Dartmoor.
It's only 5 miles from the farm at Morwellham Quay to Dartmoor.
So are we nearly there yet?
I've got my eyes on that mahogany wine.
Alex and Peter are travelling to a traditional farmstead on the lower region of the moor that's witnessed centuries of Dartmoor farming.
This is why I come to Dartmoor. This is fascinating, isn't it? It's fantastic. Original Dartmoor farm. Wow. This is rare. A farm that has seen generation upon generation of Dartmoor farmer. You can see all the different occupation levels here, can't you? You can, look, all these different phases of building. You'd have a stable up the end. Yeah. That would be your living quarters. We're missing the chimneys. And then the shippen, which is the cattle byre, would be down here. And they've even got the bracken, look. The bracken, which they would have used for bedding. Look at some of those stones there in that doorway. That doorway will be 500 years old. Wow. Wow, look at that. That cider press is huge. With your apple loft, your scratter box, your horse gin, your press. Well, this is as it would have been 100 years ago. It's amazing. And also loads of barrels of vintage cider. Result. Amazing.
The farm belongs to Colin Pearce, a sheep farmer who believes passionately in preserving the traditions of the moor.
These are the sheep, one of England's oldest breeds of sheep.
Right.
Colin farms the white-faced Dartmoor, the native breed of sheep whose long wool fleeces once played a vital role in the economy of the moor.
Well, this country, it's easy to forget that we built a nation on the wealth generated from the wool trade.
We did. Churches and bridges, wonderful names come up like Bridge on Wool, and it was the profits of wool, the culture, the economy, the prosperity, and the wool, of course, paid the rent for these little farms. This was a wonderful day when you came to shear because you waited 12 months for this fleece to mature.
Well, we look forward to helping out. Let's see if we can't throw a bit of fun into the bargain.
By fun, do you mean competition?
Yeah, I think so.
I have surprisingly weak forearms, despite what people say, so I wouldn't mind being paired with the slightly better shearer.
To teach Alex and Peter the craft of hand shearing, Colin has called in champion Devon blade shearer George Mudge and his son Andrew.
I think that it tends to run in families. I mean, my father was a good shearer and all his brothers.
Yeah.
And of course now Andrew's good at it as well.
Here we go then, there she is.
Travelling from farm to farm, an Edwardian blade shearer would have hoped to remove a fleece in less than 5 minutes.
You're going to have to be very careful, you know, not to cut them.
You've got to really know the contours of a sheep's body then.
Absolutely. You know, you've got a pair of blades here which are 6 inches long.
Take your finger off.
Yeah, you can take your finger off quite easily.
And she's all right with this? She's not too traumatised by it?
No, not at all. And I mean, generally speaking, of course, when the weather's hot, they're really glad to get it off.
Right. So the way you're shearing here is essentially so that the fleece all comes off in one piece.
It's a bit like when you're shaving, you know, you have to keep the old skin tight.
That's right, you have to sort of draw your face, don't you?
That's it.
To get the razor over it.
Yeah. And the other thing that you should do when you're shearing, you should avoid, as near as possible, skin cuts and second cuts of the wool.
Are hand shears still in use much around the world?
In countries like South Africa, still about 65% of the sheep are shorn with a blade, the best blade shearers in the world. And they, like shearers everywhere, get paid on a headage basis. So the more they shear, the more they earn. And, you know, wherever people are shearing in the world, nobody wants to be the slowest. That's it.
There she goes. Off she goes, a different animal, actually, but...
It looks half the size, isn't it?
Virtually unrecognisable.
Yeah.
So that whole process took us, what, 5 minutes?
Probably something like that, I suppose, yeah.
Right, so how many do you think you could do in a day?
Well, a good shearer with the hand shearers would do probably about 50 of these, I suppose.
Right.
I think 50 would be quite enough.
I think 5 would be right.
It's like a barber shop, isn't it? They're all lining up.
He's looking at you, Peter.
Better give them a magazine to read.
Down in the valley, Ruth's been left to look after the farm's valuable potato crop, making sure that the plants don't get blight.
So, lime, water, copper sulphate.
Ruth's turned to the government advice leaflets to make Bordeaux mixture, a fungicide developed in France.
The story goes that there was this French farmer who grew grapes, and one side of his vineyard was along the road, and people walking down the road were forever helping themselves to the grapes as they walked past, and he was getting fed up of this. So he thought, I know, I'll get the so-and-sos. I'll put something that tastes really foul on the grapes along that edge, and then they won't eat my ruddy grapes. And he presumably had these things knocking about in his farmyard, sprayed it on, and it did indeed stop the people nicking his grapes. But he also noticed at the end of the season that whilst the rest of his field had mildew problems, that row didn't.
After devastating potato famines in the mid-19th century, Bordeaux mixture revolutionised arable farming.
Quite a lot of crops suffer from problems from various mildews and fungi. The most important of which, of course, is potato and tomato blight, which just absolutely decimates. If it arrives on the wind in damp air, little spores, they touch the edge of a crop. Once you've got it on one crop, it's going to sweep through the rest of your crop in very, very short time. So keeping blight off was deeply important.
Bordeaux mixture is a diluted solution of lime and copper sulphate. To get it onto the potatoes, Ruth will use a crop sprayer.
Well, that'll do to start with. Now, oddly, this feels like women's work. I'm reminded of washing dollies and barrel churns. Ooh. Wow. It really works, this. I'm quite impressed. I wonder how long I've got before it runs out of oomph.
Sorry.
Just snip away.
On the Dartmoor farm, it's Alex and Peter's turn to shear, and they're getting competitive.
Are you dancing over there, Peter?
Yeah,
Come shear with me.
something for the weekend.
I'm just finding this really nerve-wracking, actually. You can sense my anxiety.
It's all about handling the animal. And, well, I've got the feistier sheep.
He's doing very well. The sheep's behaving herself as well, which is
a surprise.
she must feel safe.
Whoopsie, hang on, we've got a little bit left. Back here, sheep. There, job done.
Job done.
It's taken Peter 20 minutes to shear his sheep.
Alex?
Yep.
You got the time there?
Oh, just a minute. I just don't want to lose concentration at the last minute. Up she comes.
Brilliant.
There she goes.
Brilliant, Alex.
Cheers.
Well done.
Andrew, thank you very much for that. God, that is knackering.
Shearers are not only judged on their speed, but on the quality of the fleece.
I was quick, but it's not pretty, is it?
It's supposed to be a fleece pitter, not a jigsaw. Can't see that one laid out in front of your fireplace, Peter. I think we should let the masters take over, though.
Let's go grab another 2 sheep.
Yep.
While Alex and Peter get on with the shearing, Ruth's making cheese, a sideline that could earn an Edwardian farmer a decent income.
Small-scale dairying in Edwardian Britain was undergoing an enormous amount of change. For centuries and centuries, tiny little farmhouse kitchens have been able to quite commercially make a little batch now and again, sell a few at market, keep a few for the home. By the Edwardian period, little local rustic cheeses pretty much dead. It's all about mass-produced, standardised cheese, or at least those are the only things that are selling.
To help dairies produce standardised cheeses, the government advice leaflets recommend specific recipes.
The one I thought I'd make is this last one. Soft cheese number 2. What a glamorous name. It is an English variety and is in demand during warm months. And you can eat it the day after you've made it. I've been warming my wet milk on the stove. I need it at between 92 and 95 degrees Fahrenheit, which, if I had a thermometer, would be really easy to measure. As I haven't, I've been doing it with my finger. And basically, I want it a little bit warmer than blubber heat. I want it so it feels warm but not hot. Now, the rennet is the thing that changes it from milk into curds and whey. Now, obviously, I've got to spread the rennet through the whole mass. You know, it's a tiny little drop of rennet, loads of milk. But as well as that, the stirring is really important in ensuring the final texture of the cheese. Because if you don't stir at this stage, the fat or the cream can rise, and you'll get bits of the curd that are very creamy and bits that are very thin. It's amazingly calming making cheese, sort of quite relaxing. If you get overexcited, you don't make terribly good cheese.
Ruth now has to wait 4 hours until the curd which will form the final cheese is fully separated.
Oh, yes, I've got a decent set on that. What I want to do is take crusts of curd that are hardly untouched, so they're very, very sort of still junkety and jelly-y like, and lay them in. So I'm sort of just breaking through the curd and lifting it out in great big jelly pieces. Look at that. And it goes straight into my mould. It's like dealing with a living thing.
All the remaining liquid whey drains into buckets beneath the mould.
But that's going to sink. As the whey comes out, the curd is going to slowly collapse down.
That's so mesmerising.
After a hard day of shearing on Dartmoor, the team are finishing the last of the ewes.
Off they go.
Well, that was excellent. Thank you very much, George.
That's all right.
For the evening's entertainment, Colin has laid on a traditional West Country game of skittles.
I'd just like to thank the team and all the hard work done by the shearers, the skill that goes into it, for looking after my sheep, and for making it a perfect day.
Cheers, lads.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Oh, something's ripping.
Oh, no!
Who's in next in?
Oh, I think I better stick to shearing.
Oh, yeah, that's better.
While Alex and Peter settle into life on Dartmoor, down in the Tamar Valley, Ruth's up early to check if her cheese is set and drained.
Hold, don't collapse, don't collapse, don't collapse. Be good, be nice. Whee! Good cheese. Oh no, don't go wrong. Oh! Serves me right for being impatient. Oh! And that's the thing with cheese making, you have to be so precise. I shouldn't be surprised if my first attempt at a new style of cheese goes a bit, I was going to say pear-shaped, but splat-shaped would be more likely.
It's mid-June, And on Dartmoor, with the shearing season in full swing, this was the time when Edwardian farmers finally cashed in on their flock's valuable fleeces. With wool needing to be taken to the mill, Ruth joins up with Alex and Peter on the Dartmoor farm.
There you are. Found you.
There's the wool.
That's nice. Crimp on it and all.
It's a bit dusty and a bit dirty. I think it's had quite a hard winter.
I think they should be washed before the mill. We take it to the mill, do you?
Well, you're in a sticky situation, really, because it's obviously going to go on weight, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you wash out all the lanolin...
All the dirt.
and all the dirt, yeah, you're going to lose a lot of the weight.
Yeah,
Although
but if it's so dirty, then they're going to knock money off at the mill, aren't they?
Exactly.
Edwardian times, there was things were a lot fussier. Certainly the wool clip was worth more per fleece
than it is
than
now.
it is today. So then the farmer would think, we've got to get this right, we'll do what we're told. If there's a stream next to the farm boundary, ideal.
I'm going to just have to get the petticoat wet.
Keep your fleece tucked in there, else you're going to lose bits of it.
Oh, yeah, it's a bit escaping. Come back here, you.
Do a wringing process like a lady does with her washing.
Keep folding it in, yeah. Great big piece of black blue bramble there. I have to say, on a day like today, this is one of the best jobs I've come across.
And no wonder the sheep are glad to get rid of that. The irritation from that on its back.
Yeah.
That's why they very often, as the longwolves do, get on their back and have a good old itch.
Right.
Because they're still feeling that sore on their back. Beautiful Dartmoor scene this is. Beside a babbling brook. The peacefulness, the serenity, the slow pace of life. And I think it shaped the character of the people. Right. Oh, incredible. Where do you want it then?
I don't know, up in the sun, I suppose. I do know, I feel like a kid on holiday.
High above the lowland farms on Dartmoor is the vast expanse of open moorland where, for centuries, local farmers have had common rights to graze their livestock.
Get up, right, get up!
Often having to move their flocks over large distances, here sheep farmers have had to rely heavily on their dogs.
Get up! Yeah, get up!
Eager to understand how this relationship between man and dog works, Alex and Peter have come to meet lifelong Dartmoor shepherd Kenny Watson and his border collies, Wag and Roy.
Sit down there. Sit down.
So how do you tell the dogs to go left and right?
They've got their sides, what we call their sides, their commands, right? Like, right-handed is, where?
And of course, that's always their right, not your right.
Always. And if you want him to come left, come, come, come.
There he goes,
Come.
there, round he goes.
And, like, quite an important one on the moor is look back. Because sometimes they'll come in under hill and their sheep will come away and you'll see 2 or 3 moving behind, like, you know.
Behind the dogs?
Behind the dog.
Go back!
Yeah.
Go back!
So they've gone off to look for the sheep. You've told them there are sheep up there somewhere.
They think there's something back there.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how you get on with our extremely small pen in this extremely large field.
Well, I'll do my best.
OK.
Here, let it. Get up! Where? Where?
It's real precision work, isn't it? Yeah. We don't think of sheepdog work as a craft, but it is.
She's the real feisty one.
I don't.
No.
Here we go, last one.
Sit down. Sit down.
Brilliant.
And is there a trick to this at all?
I think the biggest advantage is to be a farmer, to know how to handle the sheep, to know when to move the dog, to stop them at the right time.
But did the dogs enjoy themselves?
Oh, they're always happy to work.
Yeah.
Always happy to work. I'd rather have one dog than 10 men. They know the place, they know the sheep, they're so quick and that. I couldn't manage that.
The washed fleeces are ready to be taken to the local wool mill.
They're surprisingly heavy, aren't they, even when they're dry?
They are surprisingly heavy. It's the grease, probably, that comes up in these fleeces, and they're long wool fleeces, of course, as well. But this is their last journey.
All that work.
All that work, but now we hope for payday. Payday for Dartmoor's white gold. This is precious fleeces.
Oh, I promise I'll look after it. I'll keep a very good eye on it, I promise.
Well, just mind it doesn't fall out the back. All the best to you, Ruth.
See you.
All the best. Thank you.
Ruth has arranged to deliver the fleeces to Peter Fisher at Cold Harbour Mill.
Hi.
Hello, Ruth. Pleased to meet you.
Nice to see it. What a wonderful place.
Yes, you managed to find us all right?
Oh, yes. Well, I just followed the chimney, you know.
Now a working museum, in the early 1900s, Cold Harbour Mill was at the forefront of Devon's woolen industry. It established the company Fox Brothers & Co. as a renowned global exporter of woolen goods, including puttees for the armed forces.
So this is what this mill was making, the yarn for these?
They were, yes. I mean, obviously all the British regiments and Commonwealth countries, as well, empire countries as it were then. And then later on, even the Germans had them.
Really?
Yes.
Devon wool. I think that's really quite rather nice, isn't it? Devon wool all over the world.
Using water power to drive its heavy machines, the mechanised mill turned fleeces into high-quality yarn.
Right, Ruth, well, here's your fleece going into the hopper.
Righty-ho.
To remove any remaining dirt and to separate the fibres, the wool is fed through a carding machine.
Fleece is just gradually drawn in.
Yeah.
And then it just really goes from roller to roller.
Roller to roller, each time being combed, in essence, combed over and
Being
over
a bit
and over
carved
again.
out a little bit more, that's right.
Sort of separating all the fibres, making them fluffy, letting the dirt fall out. Oh, well, I can see it coming out the far end.
That's right.
It looks so
well, it
different,
gradually
doesn't
works
it?
its way around to the other end. Yep.
Yeah. See the difference. All sort of knotty and tight up, and this is all sort of fluffy and organised.
After the wool has been carded, it's drawn out to 8 times its original length.
Being drawn out through the roller, and as it comes down the flying arm, a little bit of twist is put into it.
Right, so we've got sort of like fat, fluffy string at this place.
That's right, that's called the slubbing.
So then from this machine on to the next?
That's right, now we've prepared it, we can start spinning.
In the spinning process, the wool is twisted and drawn out to create a thinner yarn.
So these are off the last machine, the big fluffy string.
Yep, here's our slubbings on the top, drawn out between the 2 sets of rollers, but of course much more twist being put into it now.
Yeah, I can see they're spinning really much, much faster. Amazing, I was sitting here looking at all these conveyor belts and things. This is all driven by water power?
All can be driven by the water wheel, yep.
All these belts and rollers, oh, blinking, noisy, clackering lot. So these are the threads that have already been spun, but I mean, they're pretty useless in that state, aren't they? If you take the tension off, if I just sort of open a bit up, you can see it wants to sort of go all knotty and kinky.
To produce a knitting yarn, 3 threads are folded together on a twisting frame.
So all the twist in that goes one way.
That's right.
And then this, when you put it on here,
Yep,
spins
going
the other way.
round.
And they sort of lock each other
Yes.
in position.
Just the same as making ropes.
So that's the finish yarn. So if you see if I untwist it, you can see there it is, 3 completely separate bits of stuff. And you can sort of see in my fingers, they're wanting to knot. As soon as they're untwisted, they're wanting to go into horrible little knots. Let the twists go back in, and it's perfectly comfortable. I just really like this about, you know, textiles. It's just so clever. It's really simple but clever, isn't it? I mean, it's the basis of everything. String, rope, textiles, clothes. You know, suspension bridges are built using this technology, aren't they?
With wire, that's right.
In its heyday, Cold Harbour Mill employed over 100 people to work its machines. They worked long hours in dangerous and noisy conditions for minimal wages.
Boy, is it noisy. You would go deaf if you worked in this any length of time,
in a
wouldn't you?
weaving shed, you'd have many more than this. In fact, in Wellington, there were 400 looms.
I know that the weavers themselves were usually adults, but in a mill like this in the Edwardian period, an awful lot of the work is being done by quite young workers, isn't it? Usually female.
Mainly female,
Yeah,
I'm afraid, because they got paid less.
Because they got paid less, they were cheaper. I mean, what that must have done to them in their sort of growing years. Quite incredible.
I'm afraid they got their cloth ears quite quickly.
Yeah, cloth ears, yeah, you would, wouldn't you? Thank you so much. This has been so interesting. You know, it's really nice seeing, you know, the fleeces going through the whole process, seeing what they become.
Yes.
All those sheep, all that grass, all that sunshine.
Well, hopefully it makes this story a little bit more understandable.
Devon's wool industry not only brought wealth to the county, but it's also shaped its landscape. On Dartmoor, where fresh grass struggles to grow beneath gorse and heather, farmers have created fresh pastures for their flocks by the ancient practice of swaling.
What exactly is swaling?
Well, it's a very simple practice. It's a practice of burning off old vegetation to create young grass.
Right, so they've burnt back this area.
That's right, and you can see some black sticks here, which were probably the gorse remaining. Goes back to just a tradition that was forever. Sway means to yield. Ling comes from the heather. It's a Norse word. So a practice which might have just been a Norseman that rubbed a couple of flints together, realised he could burn them more and it would sweeten up.
Against all odds, for thousands of years, farmers have managed to tame this otherwise inhospitable moorland. While he's on Dartmoor, archaeologist Alex is keen to explore this ancient landscape.
What is so fascinating about Dartmoor is the way in which the relief and the geology has shaped the landscape. These stones have become a part of the occupation and the settlement of the moor, and here I'm standing in the middle of a hut circle. And this goes back to prehistoric times. They probably would have had a central hearth, and you would have had rafters running up from the stones, conical-shaped roof, probably thatched with the gorse and the rushes from around here, and a fantastic view looking out. And this wall here, this row of stones, is probably in fact an enclosure wall where the people here would have kept their precious livestock, their sheep and their cows. It's just fascinating to think of the role these stones have played in the story of Dartmoor. You know, they've really become part of the way of life, and they've helped to tame this landscape.
With the largest deposit of granite in southern Britain, generations of farmers have used the stone on Dartmoor to build enclosures for their livestock. Alex has come to meet Wilf Hutchins and his team of dry stone wallers.
Hi there, Wilf.
Hi, Alex.
How are you? Nice to see you. Hello, chaps. So what are the qualities of a good dry stone waller then, Wilf?
The main thing is the eye for the stone,
right?
Which only comes with experience, really. I mean, I've started just on the farm when I was a kid, playing at it, really. But over the years, you develop a skill where you can see a particular shape, and fit that stone to that shape.
Right.
I mean, anybody can put a stone one top the other, but you know, to get a nice job, to get a nice finish, to get the strength, to get the lines right, you don't learn it in 5 minutes. I'm still learning, and I'm 60.
Right. I see Bill and Jason getting stuck in there. Have you got some work for me to do today?
There's plenty of work.
Great stuff.
Just head on up there and pitch in.
I think he's a bit wobbly.
A bit wobbly? Needs trigging, putting a chip in behind the stone to firm it up.
So what I like about this is it's sort of rough and ready. It doesn't have to be pretty, it's just got to be functional.
That's right.
It's a great way of building, actually. He's coming this way. So how many metres would a good dry stone waller be expected to do in a day? Just a single face like this?
Well, I would like to think we could do 10 metres a day.
10 metres.
The landowners would bring in a gang of people and say, right, do that wall. The men would build the walls, and the ladies would bring the stone in wheelbarrows to the men to build.
Right.
I can't get my wife to do it.
No. Right. What about that? That's the perfect.
Watch your fingers.
Dry stone walls vary hugely from region to region.
Something like that, or is that's a bit too high there, isn't it?
Too high, yeah.
Some walls are easier to build than others, depending on the size, shape and type of local stone.
With the flatter stone, obviously, you don't need the chips, the trigs in behind. But with the rounder ones, obviously, it's just a balancing act.
Of course, they didn't have safety specs back in the Edwardian days, did they?
It needs a bit more off there.
Right. That's looking nice, isn't it, that is? Well, that's a lovely bit of work, lads. It really is.
Okay.
You can see how that's going to keep stock out.
No sore fingers?
I have, actually. They're sort of roughing up a bit. I think you'll...
Well, you can.
No black nails, it has to be said.
No, you'll be all right.
But, no, it's been great. It's been a great day, so thanks ever so much for having me up here. I feel I've learned something. I'm going to go home now and have a play in my own back garden.
Governed by the geography and geology of its landscape, for centuries the farming way of life on the moor had changed little. But by the early 20th century, a new industry on Dartmoor had emerged. With the invention of the motor car and the expansion of the railways, for the first time the scenic moorlands became easily accessible to tourists. Driven by vintage car owner Ivan Jones, Shropshire landowner Rupert Acton has come to Dartmoor on holiday with his wife Louise and daughter Florence.
There they are.
And he's eager to meet up with his old tenant farmers.
Hello.
Fantastic.
My goodness, you know how to arrive in style. Hello.
Rupert is following in the footsteps of his Edwardian ancestors, who regularly came to Devon on holiday and were among the first in their county to own a motor car.
Well, it's sort of like a beast of a thing, isn't it?
It's a machine, madam.
A machine.
It's a Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost with coachwork by Barker. You bought a Rolls-Royce for about £1,100, right? Which was an awful lot of money.
Money at that date, yeah.
About 10 years' wages for somebody like yourself. And then you pay £500 or £600 to have Barker's build your coachwork to your specification.
Oh, look, it's even pretty in there.
The noise is so quiet. It's almost like hearing a milk float when you're travelling in the back. When
Really?
it pulls away. You don't hear the engine at all.
Although this was beyond the means of Edwardian farmers, Alex, Ruth and Peter can't resist a spin in the most sought-after car of its day.
If you were going to be some super rich person at any point in history, I think I'd go for the Edwardian.
It's got to be the Edwardian age, isn't it?
How fast can it go, Ivan?
Well, 65 reasonably comfortably, really.
How many miles per gallon are you getting?
10 to 12.
10 to 12 miles per gallon.
Pretty surprising, isn't it? There were petrol stations already by 1909. They're dotted around this part of the world because so many people came touring, doing exactly this.
The writing's on the wall for the horse and car, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. Give them a little toot when you go by.
The arrival of the motor car not only opened up the countryside to tourists, but also enabled the wealthier members of Edwardian society to indulge their passion for picnicking.
Really ought to get the Pims out, darling. Who's going to start with a lobster?
Who knows? Well,
They are huge.
Of course.
It's sort of almost iconic, isn't it? The sort of the Edwardian picnic. When you think of that period of history, it's sort of one of those things that springs to mind. Endless food under hot summer skies in beautiful places.
I suppose one of the most famous kind of Edwardian picnics has got to be the Wind in the Willows, where Ratty is listing every single item in the picnic basket, and it's just one continuous list.
Inspired by authors like Kenneth Grahame, the Edwardian picnic was part of a newly romanticised view of the British countryside. As a growing number of people turned to the countryside for recreation and to escape the industrial towns and cities, the unspoilt landscape of Dartmoor became an increasingly popular setting for a new pastime: rambling.
picked an absolutely stunning day for it.
Rupert is keen to explore the high moor on foot, and along with Peter and Alex, has met up with rambler and guide Roger Paul.
Where are you taking us today?
And we're going to go through there, right to Cranmere Pool.
Right.
Which is the remotest section of Dartmoor.
Right. 9
or 10 walking miles from anywhere. And we're at about 1,800 feet. Head on down here. We'll see our last bit of water in a minute.
So you looking forward to this then, Rupert?
Very much so, yes. I could do with a good walk.
Getting to Cranmere Pool involves walking over the moor's treacherous terrain.
See, now this is where we're getting this slightly heavy going, because we're going down in these dips and up again.
The peat-rich ground on Dartmoor acts as a giant sponge, absorbing over 100 inches of rain every year.
The whole land is moving, isn't it?
Yeah, now you imagine in the winter, this goes up and down like a yo-yo. Right. And you've only got to stop and look at this lot.
Yep.
When you think there, look. Oh, wow. You know, and you'll go right down.
But this is all right at the moment because it's dry.
If you do get stuck, is there a particular method of getting out of the mud?
So if you just lay down flat. Yeah. And if you, exactly. And if you had a haversack on, you could chuck that in front of you. So you'd vest on there, then you just crawl yourself out.
Right.
Pull yourself out. I've only ever done it once.
Of course, the other option is just walk behind someone.
Yeah.
I've noticed you doing that, Peter. Yeah. Thanks, actually.
Oh, blimey.
Oh, hang on.
God. I'm not going to do that.
After an hour's walk, the team finally arrive at Cranmere Pool, a destination that once challenged even the most intrepid Edwardian.
So this is it?
So this is it, Cranmere Pool. Let's see if we can open this box.
Although the water at Cranmere Pool had long since gone, this lonely, bleak spot on the moor still pulled in the visitors. In 1854, it had become the birthplace of letterboxing, an orienteering pursuit that's now popular around the world.
They would have put a postcard in here, addressed to themselves or somebody in the family.
Right.
And they would have relied on somebody else to come along, pick the postcard up and post it off. Proof that you'd been to Cranmere Pool, which at that time, as is now, is one of the sort of the remotest spots in the UK. So there's your book to sign in as a visitor.
Right, OK.
So that's your logbook, is it?
There's your logbook. There's your stamp.
Prove you've been here.
You've got some postcards in, have you?
I have possibly. Send it to Ruth.
OK, then. So we can prove to her we weren't at the pub all afternoon.
Send some sandwiches.
Just about make that out. And would they have had to have waited long for that postcard to arrive at home?
Well, I would have said comparatively not, because if you look in the first year that the book was put in the tin, which was 1905, there was something like between 600 and 700 visitors in the first year.
Right.
And within 3 years, that had risen to nearly 2,000 visitors.
Wow.
And there is a record, I think in the very first year, within a couple of months, of a Frenchman signing in and putting a postcard in to himself back in France.
Right, there we go then. Put these in there.
And then the next visitor to here should post them for us.
Let's hope. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Are you going to guide us back? Or are we on our
He's
own?
going to see what we've learned.
No, you see what we've learned.
Is there a quicker way home?
It's almost time for the team to return to the valley, but there's still one last important job to be done. When the shearing season was over, the white tide of Dartmoor began. Once, hundreds of lowland sheep farmers would have driven their flocks onto the highest pastures of the moor for summer grazing, an annual pilgrimage dating back to the Middle Ages.
Here! Here! Come! Come!
With the help of Kenny and his dogs Wag and Roy, Alex and Peter have joined the last farmers to still carry on this tradition. Patrick Coker and his family.
The family have been coming up here, I understand, from about 1850.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very long time. And we just keep up this tradition, but unfortunately I think we're about the only family left that are doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you do this every year, some of these sheep know where they're going.
They know exactly where they're going. As soon as you come up that lane, they come straight out here. It's their summer holiday, really.
Having done all that work to get them ready for the moor, you're confident that they're going to do well for a couple of months.
Oh, yes. Yeah. They won't put on a lot of flesh.
Right.
But they'll be healthy. That's the
Right.
main thing. They lose that hardiness if you don't put them there year after year. And we can get on with a few other jobs, haymaking, silaging.
Yeah.
And it gives the farmer rest, really, as well. That's the other thing.
Right.
The sheep will stay on the highlands of Dartmoor until the autumn, when they will once again return to their lowland farms.
Putting your sheep on Dartmoor doesn't mean you can forget about them. So if you're a shepherd and you had a flock, you'd certainly want to spend a bit of time up here with them. Make sure they've settled in, make sure they're not getting into trouble. And it's an absolutely stunning location. The sun setting, the moon rising, and the expanse of ancient Dartmoor.
While the team are out on the moor, Ruth is busy preparing lammy pie, a traditional West Country dish.
Dartmoor lamb eats Dartmoor grass and all the wonderful little plants that are in it, which is a completely different mix of food from lambs down in the lowlands. And what they eat flavours the meat.
With few trees on the moor to build fires, Edwardians burnt dried peat, partially decayed vegetation that forms over thousands of years in the boggy wetlands.
Of course, today you're not allowed to cut peat on Dartmoor. We brought this actually down from Scotland. But back in the Edwardian period, it was still a common thing to do up on this moor. Food cooked on a peat fire does not taste the same as food cooked on a wood fire. I think nowadays people think, you know, that all the flavour in food comes from the ingredients. Well, this is an ingredient too. I do like the smell of peat. Of course, the thing it really smells of is whiskey. Or at least that smoky flavour you get with whiskey. I'm going to make the pastry. Not with butter, not with lard, not with any of the usual fats. I'm going to make it with clotted cream. cream absorbs flavour. If you put cream or milk open in your fridge next to something else, it absorbs. So if you had an onion or a garlic or a lemon in your fridge, all those flavours get taken on by the milk and cream. So as you can imagine, it takes peat smoke smell really well. And Edwardian visitors, those in the know, would really look out for a cream tea on Dartmoor, because a cream tea on Dartmoor meant that the cream would actually be produced over a little low peat fire.
It's absolutely amazing. It really is. This is a stone row. The termination of an ancestral highway, and there's no doubt about the fact that this monument would have had a role to play at Midsummer. And here, this is the sacred place. This is where the rituals would have been played out. And of course, in the Edwardian period, they speculated wildly about what would have happened here. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who of course wrote The Hound of the Baskervilles, who was famous for haunting this moor, he was ever so interested in all this stuff. And he wrote prolifically about the many demons and the druidic ways of the moor.
So I've sort of just mixed my herbs and my seasoning and my cream together. And now I just lay it in layers. In areas where you're cooking on peat, you don't get much roasted meat. You get an awful lot of slow, simmered pot stews. Think Irish stew. That sort of long, slow, gentle cooking. Our regional cooking is the sort of memory of regional farming and regional fuel.
Whoa! Wow. That is fab.
That was part of that slice.
Hot. It's a fantastic location, isn't it?
It's a million miles away from Moorwelham, isn't it?
I think the stone row and the standing stone there is the most interesting thing for me, because Conan Doyle's story, Hugo de Baskerville, he's got his eye on this young maid down in the village, and you know, he wants to have her for his own. So what he does is he kidnaps her and he locks her in the tower. And while she's there, he gets all his mates up for a sort of ripping party, you know, and they're feasting away. And then one of his manservants comes to him and says, "She's escaped, she's escaped." So of course he jumps on his horse and he races after, and he races across the moor. Of course, all his friends are like, "Oh, no, no, God, we must follow him, we must follow him." And they eventually find him. Above him, tearing his throat out, is the hound, this black dog. And of course, it's happening at the standing stone.
Ruth?
Yes?
You got the reins to the pony. I'm off.
It's a spooky place.
Next time on Edwardian Farm.
It's raining potatoes.
It's the July potato harvest. The team call in cheap labour.
Chop, chop, lad.
Behind you.
My shoes are full of mud.
Come on, we've got to get this field done by the end of the day.
And it's time for a well-earned break at the seaside. Edwardian style.